Okay, I had an interesting combination of boons in a recent run, and they didn't interact in the way that I expected at first glance. So I just wanted to go over the interaction, take a little look at what happened, and talk about a couple of things with Coarse Grit. I also got the Brave Face boon. At a glance, I thought Coarse Grit is going to reduce the amount of damage I take to 15, and then Brave Face is going to try to resist that damage. Turns out that Coarse Grit applies second. So if you are using Coarse Grit, Brave Face is almost strictly a downgrade. What ends up happening, you can see it here in the clip. We take the hit, we take 15 damage, but it also takes a bunch of mana. We do not take 8 damage like we expected. Now this is in version 0.90592, you can see. But yeah, what's happening there is the initial hit is higher than 15. Legendary Brave Face is resisting 50% of the initial damage, taking mana for that. And then the final result is still above or equal to 15, and Coarse Grit then reduces it to 15. So with or without Brave Face, you're still taking 15, and with it, it's taking your mana. Now, as we saw on the opening screen, I had Born Gain, which is incredibly broken at Heroic and level 2, so I had infinite mana here. We had like over 200 mana and a 2 magic prime, so that was no big deal. One other thing that was only like a tiny bit of a surprise for me was the one-shots in the second phase. So I did have one, I reacted to it slow, and I did not make it to the safe zone, and I was thinking like, oh, this is definitely going to go through Coarse Grit and take my Death Defiance, but it didn't. So Coarse Grit does block the one-shot mechanics, which they're not technically one-shots, they do 999 damage. I have also seen other damage reduction reduce those. I think I saw like a 700 and something hit, so that it is just a, you know, it does 1,000 damage basically, and you can reduce or affect that in any way that might be an option within your loadout. So that's just another thing to know about Coarse Grit. It's incredibly strong. It carried me to my first Chronos win, so that's Coarse Grit and Brave Face.